Hello and welcome everybody to lesson 5 of our diploma in mobile app development. Today we are going to be looking at storing data with apps, the different data storage options available to us, implementing one of those in App Inventor 2 and adding further functionality to our app. So Phoenix calling in. If you can hear me, please do type in where you're listening from. Ryan there from Johannesburg. Jana, don't worry if you missed last week's lesson. You can catch up on the recordings. We've Miles there from Croydon. Brilliant stuff. Sashin has his notebook and pencil ready. Brilliant stuff. So let's get going with today's lesson. We've Kubalan there calling in as well. So I am, as usual, Oshin, your mad educator. And before we get, guys, at the end of today's lesson, we will be announcing the winner of the 12-month premium membership, which will allow you to do all our courses here and also very much the advanced diploma in mobile app development. I look forward to seeing the winner on that course, and I hope you guys are all very, very keen to see that running. Anna there calling in from the UK and Darling from New Zealand. Brilliant to have you on board. Great stuff. So, quick lesson recap before we take a look at today's agenda and what we'll be covering last lesson. So what we'll be covering this lesson. So the last lesson was the development life cycle, and we had a look at what the development life cycle is, and roughly the 4 stages that every development life cycle goes through. We had requirements, design, implementation, release and update. Now, some development life cycles have 7 or 8 stages, and if you remember our mad agenda, what we're covering over the duration of this course has 3, where we talk about design, develop and distribute. So everyone is calling in. Denise from Cork, brilliant to see you all on board. Now, really want to stress how hugely important the development life cycle is, if I didn't stress it enough in the last lesson. And the more time you put into the first 2 stages, which are requirements analysis and design, the less work you have to do in the implementation stages. Again, it's all about giving yourself a blueprint, a map to follow. And then we had a look at a couple of life cycle models, waterfall and agile. Now, the agile method is not so much a strict methodology as a concept for development, where you do try and be flexible and adapt to change. So we had a look at the iterative process, which is one implementation of the agile model. And what really makes this a great model for mobile app development is that it has a focus on releasable software as a measure of progress, which makes a huge amount of sense in the mobile environment, where you do want to get your app out there as quick as possible, not being spending months upon months upon months on it. And then finally, we had a look at loops before adding more functionality to our Zoohoo app that we were working on. And does anybody have any questions from the last lesson before we get going with today's agenda? And we have a hello there from North Carolina. Fantastic stuff. One of my friends was visiting there recently. He had a great time. So brilliant stuff. So everyone seems to be okay at the moment. And can you believe it's lesson 5? We've only a few lessons left in the course. So today we're going to be looking at the different data storage options available to us in Android, and generally as well it can be applicable to a lot of other platforms. Then we're going to get introduced to TinyDB and implementing that in App Inventor. And as usual, we'll have our summary and our competition, which I hope you are all very, very excited for. I'm very excited as well. And remember that you have to be attending live. You have to be here. So all of you people here who are attending today are in with a chance to win that. And then our Q&A at the end. So is everyone ready to go and get started with today's lesson and get running on with storing data with apps? So data storage options, okay? Android provides, Marco, let's go, fantastic stuff. So Android provides several options for you to save persistent application data. And the solution that you want, it really does depend entirely on your specific needs, okay? You need to figure out whether the data should be private to your application or accessible by other applications and the user, and also how much space your data requires. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what we mean by persistent data, okay? So persistent data, in very simple terms, is data that remains, okay? And as some of you will have found out from testing, when you close your app that we've been working on, and I mean close it completely, kill it is one of the terms, rather than having it running in the background, you will have noticed that all the data, the animals you have unlocked, have been lost. So each time you close the app, all data is lost. And that is because it is being held in variables and they are not persistent. And we're going to talk a bit more about them. So really what persistent means is continuing to exist over a long period of time. If we want to add more functionality to our app, or in fact any app that we're going to be working on, it is essential that we learn how to store data relating to the app that the user has inputted. And then when we open the app to retrieve the data and restore our app to its previous state. So let's take a quick look at some of the options available to us. I just want to run through and clear up what we mean by persistent data. So data storage. So first of all, we have shared preferences. And what this does is it saves data as a key value pair of primitive data types. And when we talk about primitive data types, we're talking about booleans, ints, strings. So we're not talking about complex data types, we're talking about primitive data types. And it stores them in key value pairs. So I do want to talk very quickly about key value pairs. Michael, it does not, you've joined us just at the correct time. As long as you've been attending the lesson live, you're still in with a chance to win the premium membership. So a key value pair, what it does is it saves the data as a pair. The key is the unique identifier, and I need to stress unique identifier for the data, while the value is the actual data itself. So as an example, we could save a key value pair with a key of my bike and a value of, say for instance, a red Raleigh 16 speeds or something like that. Now, as I said, the key is a unique identifier, so you could not have two key value pairs both with the key my bike, because that is how we identify the value. We identify it by the key, and obviously if there's multiple keys with the same name, you cannot identify the value correctly. So it does have to be unique. You couldn't have 10 values with my bike, key with my bike. It might be an idea to say bike 1, bike 2, or my bike, your bike, and so on. So shared preference is a type of persistent storage that stores data as a key value pair. And a lot of time shared preferences can be used for saving user preferences, but not strictly for this use either. Next of all, what we could do is save files directly, save data directly onto the device using internal storage. Now this data is stored privately to your app, and other apps or the user cannot access this information. And when the app is uninstalled, the information is lost. So this is quite good, as I've said, because data is stored privately and cannot be accessed, modified, rewritten through other than by your app. Now this is for file storage. So if you are going to use this type of storage, you need to put your information into a file format. So maybe a text document of key value pairs, or JSON in text, or something like that. And I do talk a lot more about JSON in the advanced course. And then in opposition to internal storage, we have external storage. So every Android device supports a shared external storage that can be used to save files. So this is removable storage like your USB or SD cards. External storage is considered world readable and can be modified by the user when connected to a computer via USB. And external storage does become unavailable if the user takes out the external storage, your SD card, or removes the media. And there's no security enforced upon the files you save to external storage, and all applications can read and write files placed on external storage. So it is quite similar in the process, except it is not private. Does internal storage refer to cache storage? And cache storage would be stored on an internal storage. So internal storage is just memory as well. Do we need a server to store data in the app? And I'll talk about that in a minute, Dane. Don't worry about that. And Marco, would shared preferences or external data storage relate to cloud storage? Cloud storage is quite different, okay? And I will stress in a minute where this is all coming from. And then we have SQLite databases. So these are databases that you create and that can be accessed by any class in your application, but not outside of the app. And these are created, updated, and accessed using SQL and share a lot of similarities to other relational database management systems or DBMSs, but they are quite different also. And again, I will cover these in a lot more detail in the advanced course. And for those of you moving on to the advanced course, it is actually in this semester that we deal with the SQLite databases. And then as well, we have a network connection. So this is what we're talking about: cloud storage, web-based services, and servers, okay? You can store data persistently using an external server where you host your data storage services. So you can use the network when it's available to store and retrieve data on your own web-based services. And this is also what we'll be covering in the data storage semester of the advanced course. But as I'm sure you can all see, creating a network connection to retrieve and display data from an online resource is an integral part of many apps. So Marco, shared preferences and external data storage, they do not relate to cloud storage, storing things online on a server, okay? But what you could do is you can save them through a network connection to an online web service that you have. Which is the best data storage system between shared preference and internal? It really is up to you. Shared preferences is only for key value pairs, while internal, you can store a variety of options in internal. And I would actually like to stress, okay, that SQLite is quite a common option in Android, but it does save all the data in internal storage. It's more of a way of structuring what you are trying to save that is very well supported in Android. As always, don't hesitate to pop in any questions if you do have any. So persistent data, you can store images, settings, preferences, passwords, text, a huge amount, okay? So I'm having which type does Google Play Save Games use? There are a variety of different options out there. Firebase is one way of using cloud storage and is quite popular. And I do talk about integrating Firebase in the advanced course. So which is better to use for storing data on the device memory? Variables or internal storage? I'm sure you will get this question no problem at all. Shared preferences are the most limited. That would be correct, Emmanuel. Shared preferences would be the most limited. If I choose an online server, will I need to integrate that with the app? Is that possible? That is exactly it. If you have an online server, you need to set up some sort of RESTful web service or some other sort of web service so that you can write and read data from that online server through a network connection. And again, we do cover that in the advanced course. SQLite, it is you use SQL. So SQL is the language, structured query language, and while it does share some similarities to relational database management systems such as MySQL, it is quite different also. Very good, and the Mozam there with the answer is internal storage. So the reason for this, okay, is because variables are quite unsuitable for storing data due to RAM, okay? And let's talk about random access memory, and hopefully you may have all heard of random access memory. I definitely wouldn't buy a laptop or a computer. It says how much RAM you have. So RAM is what is used to store data in the form of variables that are in the process of being used. And it is called random access memory as it is memory that is there to be randomly accessed, read and written to whenever memory needs to be stored at that exact point in time. Now the thing about RAM is that it is not persistent. Once power has been cut or you close your app, all the data stored in RAM is lost because it is not useful. So variables are stored here. While using internal storage or any of the other storage options we talked about, we can store data in databases, and a database is a collection of related data that is organized, and that allows you to have persistent data. So values that are stored in one of those storage options we talked about will remain available the next time your app is opened. So is everyone okay with that before we move on and have a look at what we will be covering in today's lesson? I'm going to take a very quick drink of water. Perfect. Everyone seems to be following along perfectly. So, one of the data storage options that are available to us in App Inventor 2 is TinyDB. Now, the introduction of a database allows you to take your apps to the next level, storing information when the app is closed. And TinyDB is a component in App Inventor that allows us to do that without needing advanced knowledge of the functions of a database. So it is a simple database that stores data locally on the device's internal storage. So TinyDB, it stores and retrieves data efficiently, and it uses the programming concept tags. So we talked about key value pairs a moment ago, and this is where it comes in. We talked about tag value pairs, which is another way of saying key value pairs. So we do have tag value pairing, key value pairing. Again, the tag, the key, is the unique identifier for the value. So TinyDB, it searches for the location and the value information by searching tags, and it is able to do this extremely fast. It's tiny, which is one of the names why it's called TinyDB. The source code has about 1200 lines of code. It's optimized as well. It is optimized code, and it is written very well, so it's very well suited. Again, it's not suitable for a huge amount of data, but so your tag is the title of the item that you are searching, the data. Here we have Ushing, which is one of the tags, and then the value is the item to be stored. So we have Ushing is the mad educator. So this is our value, and this is our tag, and this is how we search for our value. TinyDB is not relational. TinyDB is not relational. And then we have Lisa is a mad student. So it locates the value information by searching for the tag. As you can see there, I do apologize for the blurriness of that. We can call TinyDB1.storeValue, where tag Ushing, and Ushing is the mad educator, and our tag Lisa, the value to store Lisa is a mad student. And I would like to specify very quickly and just get it out of the way that the tag is unique. So again, it stores in key value pairs, tag value pairs, but again, you can store lists of data if you wish. So you could have a tag with list 1 and store a load of information in that list, and there are quite a few different options open to you in regards to that. There is also TinyWebDB, which allows you to store data online. And I would like to say that the tags are case sensitive, and it's something that does happen to students, and it's something that you may not have noticed. But if you, as you are typing, and for instance I type, when you're typing, you generally do a space after a word. So you need to be aware that maybe you're searching for a tag and you type it in, you might have put a space afterwards, and it is case sensitive. It is case sensitive. So be aware that it is case sensitive. You need to have the tag, if you're searching for it, exactly as you have it inputted. And what I would like to clear up as well is we're talking about internal storage here, the same with SQLite. That is all local storage, okay? So that is all storage that is on the device, okay? It's not data that is stored on a server on a cloud, wherever it may be, it is all local to the device. So if you have another device, an app somewhere, you cannot access the data on someone else's phone on their device. This is all to do with local storage and local persistent data. Is everyone okay with that? And hopefully that has cleared that up for everyone. So this is not suitable for data that needs to be supported, that needs to be accessed by apps everywhere. This is all just local storage. And does TinyDB support wildcards? I would avoid them, Cohen. Again, the less chance for error, the better. The less chance for error, the better when you are developing. So TinyDB is very simple to implement. It's a great way to go and to get us started with persistent storage. So completing our app, okay? Completing our app. So what we're going to be doing today is pretty much just implementing little TinyDB and getting going with that. So if we want to have a very quick look at where we are now and just run through where exactly we are in App Inventor 2 at this stage. So in the last lesson we added our scanner, and so that we could lock the bare images. We just want to run through the blocks very quickly. So we initialize our global player to null. When our screen is initialized, it causes screen notifier to show a little bit of text, so we can add the username. After that, we set our global player to our response, and when the start button is clicked, after that, it sets the table arrangement .visible to true. When our bare button is clicked, we want to check to see if we have unlocked our bare.png. If so, well, then we open up another screen with the start value, with passing the new screen our player name and opening it up with the screen name bare screen. Otherwise, we can call our screen notifier, say scan the barcode beside the bare enclosure to unlock the bare. And after choosing, we can compare our choices. If it's yes, well then we call our animal scan and we do scan, and then our bare screen as well. Very simple. Set the username .text look out, and then we get our start value and pass it in there and make a nice little label. Perfect stuff. So fantastic stuff. So let's get going with today's lesson and implement our TinyDB. And what I thought would be a good idea as well would be to add a label at the top here, so we have the user's name as well. Might be an idea just to have the user's name at the top saying hello or welcome or something like that. So we've added in a little label which we'll just rename as user, and so we can modify that when they do implement, when they do enter a name saying welcome. So if we go down here, we do have quite a bit, and it is all in our storage. So as you can see here, we have file storage for storing and retrieving files, so we can use this to read or write files, okay? But we're not specifically going to be doing that. There is Fusion table as well, and TinyDB, which is what we'll be using today, is a non-visible component that stores data for an app. And then TinyWebDB as well, which might be an idea to check out more information on that, because this, when you use that, you are running off a Google source. So it might be an idea to create your own TinyWebDB if you want to run with that, rather than using Google's one, because again, it may not be suitable for the amount of data that you want to run through. Fantastic stuff. So we want to drag in our TinyDB there. So it is a non-visible component, as you can see. Rename it to animal DP. And there are some other options here. Experimental Firebase. Again, it is experimental, so I believe it is running off one of the developers at MIT personal server, so don't try and overload it with a huge amount of data. Is everyone okay with that? So what we want to do is we want to go into our blocks and start storing data, saving data, and working from there, so that when we do open up our app again, we can check to see if the user's name has been inputted and replace all the animals that we have unlocked. Maybe you've gone to the zoo a couple of times and you get a chance to go around the whole zoo, and maybe you want to come back and unlock everything. So how much of internal storage are you allowed to use? Again, you want to keep this in mind when storing, and this is why, say for instance, storing sound clips, storing videos, and also storing pictures in an app is possibly not the best way to do it, because it is much more useful in a lot of ways. When you take a picture or record a sound clip or record a video, that generally goes into your gallery or your sounds, and it is stored in internal storage already. So there can be a problem with duplicate data if you want to store that sound, that video, or that image in internal storage. So what keeps on happening there is you've duplicate data. So what is much more efficient to do is, rather than storing the image that is already stored in internal storage in your media collection, and the same with the images and videos, a lot of developers, what they do is they store file paths, which are only text, and it makes a lot more sense to store to the file path rather than having duplicate data. And there is no particular limit on the internal storage that you are allowed to use, but again, you want to keep in mind how much internal storage users have, and maybe provide them with the option to store certain things on an external storage if you want, because it does depend on the device that you're using. Internal storage is growing as time goes on. Oftentimes phones have 20 gigabytes of internal storage, and that is growing. But again, if you saw an app, and it's one thing you see it with Facebook, if you go on and look at how much memory Facebook takes up, it's something in the region of 300 megabytes, which is quite a lot. And Facebook is a very intensive app in regards to battery and memory. But if you were a user and you went through your settings and checked your apps and saw how much storage it was using, and it was over 100 megabytes, 200 megabytes, 300 megabytes, you may consider deleting that app. So you want to be careful with that. And again, something with local storage, it's not for huge amounts of data. It's not for huge amounts of data. It's generally saving things that are specific to the user's app on the device. So maybe game saves, specific, if it was a workout app, workouts that the user has completed, things like that, rather than trying to store everything. You shouldn't have thousands upon thousands of entries in local storage, because again, you can also just upload them to an online database. So a bit more about the file path text. Well, when you take a picture, record a sound, that is stored in internal storage anyway by the app that has taken that sound clip, that image, whatever it may be. And it has a path which is called a URI, which stands for Uniform Resource Identifier. And so what you can do is you can find the Uniform Resource Identifier and just save that file path in your app, which indicates to load an image from here, a sound clip from here, rather than storing the image or the sound clip or the video again, which again is duplicate data, and something I cover more in the advanced course about duplicate data and everything like that. So let's get going with this anyway and get started. So we've dragged in our TinyDB and we've dragged in our label. So the first thing that we want to do is, after we get our text input, we want to start adding a few bits and pieces to it. So we want to we'll drag this over. So there are a couple of things that we want to do. Stephen, I would advise you not to have videos in your app. I'm going to talk about that more in the next lesson, but a video, even a short 3-minute video, can take up about 30 megabytes, even more, especially if it's HD. And again, you've only 50 megabytes or 100 megabytes, I do apologize, to work with your APK. You can implement an option on your app to allow the user to store and run the app from your expandable SD card rather than using the phone space. That's no problem at all. You can do that. So after we get our response, after the user inputted something, what we want to do is, first of all, we want to set the label here to say welcome to Zoo Who. So we can do that as we've seen by using set, and I'll zoom in a teeny bit. So we want to set that to the user's name. Then what we want to do is check to see if that user has used the app before, if we can compare it against the value stored in our TinyDB that we have, and see if they have played this before. And if not, well, then everything remains the same. Otherwise, we want to set the images to what we have saved from the previous session. So first of all, let's just set the text, and we want to get our text. So we want to join text saying welcome to Zoo Who. And then what we want to do is we just want to get our variable player. Perfect. So we get our global player. You can have different images for each screen, Mahendra, that's no problem. What if you compress it, Stephen? Compressing videos. Again, I would really advise staying away from videos, too many images, things like that, and you will see why in the next lesson, publishing your app, when we talk about preparing your app for release. It's not a brilliant way to go about it. It's much better to maybe have a mobile website in regards to that if there's a lot of videos on it, because a HD video does take up a lot of space. So first of all, now what we want to do is we want to use an if statement. Again, if statements coming in very useful, very powerful in regards to this. So what we want to see, what we want to check is to see if player's name has already been using the app unlocked some animals. So we can use our text for this. We can compare our text. We want to say equals. What we can do is we can get our global player. We want to see if our global player is equal to values that we have stored in our app previous. So we have our animal DB. Now we are going to use the tag player name to store it if they're not there. And the blocks can be on any order in App Inventor. So the positioning of the blocks does not matter. They don't need to be in sequence in regards to that. So it might be an idea to just cut down on mistakes and ensure that you never have the wrong tag. Just to put everything in caps or something like that, or all in lowercase. Because the tag will remain the same. The tag is a constant. It is a unique identifier for a player. And if the value is not there, well, then we can just say error. So we want to say if we're we're going to check to see if we have stored the player's name when they've after they've inputted their name, and we're going to check to see if they have stored that. And if they have, well then what we can do is we can set our bear button to whatever is stored in that tiny b. Now we're going to be working with storing the values that we've unlocked and also storing the name in just a second. So what we can do, set our bear button, and you can add comments if you wish, but for the time being we're okay. It's always a good idea to add comments. I'm not adding any comments at the moment. I do apologize about that, but it's always a good idea to add comments, as Emmanuel so very rightly pointed out. So we're going to set the bear button to we want to set it, and we're going to call this is the tag that we would store bear image, and we're going to set bear button.image to whatever we have stored there. And if we've nothing stored there, if we have not unlocked our bear, well then we just do our silhouette. Now otherwise, and we would do this for all our images as well, so we do it for the 4 different buttons there. Otherwise, if that is not the case, if we do not have the player's name there, if we do not have it equal to anything there, otherwise what we do is we want to call our animal.db. We want to store the player's name, value to store, and we'll use this tag. Emmanuel, I'm unsure what examples you would prefer to include in this specific project. If you could rephrase that. First, one way to get around that, and it's something that you can play around with, is if you are finding the layout a bit difficult, a lot of it does come down to horizontal table and vertical arrangements, where you can nest these arrangements to provide a better user interface and arrange them better whichever way you want. So what we've done there is we've checked to see if the user has used the AMP before, and if not, if we cannot get this, well then otherwise we're just going to store the value. And it's not to worry that here, if the player's name is not equal to the value in our tag there, and the value of the tag is not there, we get an error, because straight away what we do is we overwrite it. Even though we have set it to error, we overwrite it with our player name. So is everyone okay with that? So the next thing that we want to do is we want to save our value that we have when we unlock our bear. So we want to save what we've unlocked here. I'll take a very quick drink of water. So, can the layout be in both? What comments would you have preferred to input it? Well, say for instance, after choosing here, you could very simply just add comment. Very simply, this block calls animal scan after the user has chosen yes after from the pop-up, the notifier, something like that. So that would be a perfectly fine comment. So if anyone was coming along and was sort of going, what's this box do? Perfect, just plain English, totally fine. Just to depends how technical you do want to go with it. Okay, so the layout can be in both vertical and horizontal, but you do need to nest the views. You do need to nest the views. So it's quite simple to save our image as we go on. So very simply, save our tag. And remember, we have it all in caps. It's a good idea to just pick a format maybe and stick with it, because again, it means you won't forget, you won't be wondering what your tags are, things like that. Again, you will see that is why we've called our buttons in a certain way. We have a start button, our animal scan, our animal DB. It's always a good idea just to name things logically. I'll bear that image, and then I'm going to get our bear button image. Perfect. And these blocks, it does not matter about the position of the blocks for the sequence of execution. Does not matter about the position of the blocks for the sequence of execution. So, it is possibly an idea, again, and there are a couple of options here, okay, and something I would like to talk about very, very briefly. So we do have the option that when our other screen is closed, okay, to set our bear button image because what may happen, okay, we can set it to what we have saved there. The reason we do that is because the screen may reinitialize and we have to set it again. And then we also have the option when our screen1.initialize, which we have our screen1 dot orientation change. And something to keep in mind, when you rotate a screen, what happens is that the screen is destroyed and then recreated. So to really make sure that when they turn the screen sideways, that everything is again put back together correctly, rather than just having all the silhouettes again. Now we have set our screen to portrait, so it cannot be changed, but that is something to keep in mind. It's something we do cover in a huge amount more detail in the advanced course, because when you rotate a screen, it doesn't preserve it. What it does is it rotates and it destroys all the information and recreates it. So starting from the base again, and you may need to remember the data that you've had. But for the time being, because we've just set the screen to portrait, it is fine. Now, again, I would really advise testing on the device, especially because we are using the scanner, and it is one of the quirks of the emulator that when you come back to the screen each time, screen1.initialized is called. Now, this is not called when you're running on an actual device, and it is one of the limitations of this emulator that screen1.initialized is called each time you come back to the screen, which is an issue because that will cause our little notifier to pop up each time. So again, much better to test on a real device, and I really do stress that for everyone. So does anybody have any questions on that? Because we have implemented our data storage for our bear. As you can see here, after the input, we set the little label to welcome to Zoo and user. And in fact, something to remember, we're putting a space there so that the words won't all be mushed in together. And then we check to see if we have a user's name stored in the TinyDB, in our animal DB. And if we do, if the user's name does match up correctly with the player name that we have under the tag there, we set the bearer button image and all our other images to whatever we have in our animal DB. Otherwise, we just call the animal DB to store the value of the player's name. And again, after we unlock an animal, we just call it to store our animal's name. So, the weekly challenge, guys, and that has brought us to the end of today's lesson. It is weekly challenge number 3. So do post a screenshot of what you've been inventing under the hashtag ShawMadProgress. So you can go to the Shaw Academy's Facebook page, use the hashtag ShawMadProgress and tell us what you've made, and search hashtag ShawMadProgress to find past examples. So you can do that there. So in summary, we had a look at different data storage options available to us. We got introduced to TinyDB and we added that to our app to provide better functionality. So congratulations, you've just taken the next step in Android development. Do attend live to ask questions and benefit the most, and I am here to help. So do email me at mobile.app@shawacademy.com. Could you link a video from YouTube in an app? You could, of course, but again, one thing as well you want to consider is you don't want to be taking users outside of your app. You always want to keep users inside of your app. So the next session is publishing your app, and we're going to talk about getting ready for launch, the final checks, the Google Play Developer Console, and launching our minimum viable product. So do attend lessons live. So guys, I know most of you have been excited about this competition since lesson 1 and asking us a huge amount of questions about the membership since we have announced the competition. So for one lucky person here today, we are going to be giving you that gift of education. I hope you are all very, very excited for this competition. I can see all the me's, let me win coming in. Fantastic stuff. So before we start doing our drum rolls at home, let's take a quick look at what that lucky person is about to win, and I'm pretty sure you all want to see what you're in it with a chance to win. So as you all know, the winner will get 12 months premium membership. Now this is our best subscription model where you get absolutely everything included, and the winner will get access to all our courses, both foundation and advanced diploma level. And for everyone here, I'm pretty sure you all know that the advanced diploma in mobile app development is next, and the most important course to do next. And we do have some very exciting news as well in regards to the advanced diploma in mobile app development. This is a course I'm very proud of and have worked at constantly improving it to give you guys the very best possible educational journey. As we are now on the 3rd week of the Foundation Mobile App Development course, you wouldn't believe how many emails I've been receiving asking about the Advanced Diploma in Mobile App Development, and as well the EQF Level 5 Professional Diploma that it is part of. So, just to clear it up and to put it very, very simply, this foundation course combined with the 3 advanced semesters equals your Level 5 Professional Diploma. And this course that you're on now is your starting point. It is an introduction to your basic topics, and your next step is the 3-month advanced course, at the end of which you will get your diploma. So I'm sure that lucky winner is very excited to get going with that, and there's a lot of questions coming in, so I'll just get through this and then get asking away. So as you can see there, module 1, and they're all 4 weeks, and you're currently in the first module, and then completing the 3 months of the advanced course will get you your EQF Level 5 Professional Diploma. So what this means is that it is an internationally recognized qualification, and it means no matter where you are in the world, you can get your skills and career to the next level. So as you see there on the slide, you can see the various different qualifications that an EQF Level 5 Professional Diploma does equal. So it's the European Qualifications Framework. It's the people who gave me my degree. It's the people who give all degrees in Europe. So it is part of that framework.
And with the membership as well, the lucky premium winner will get access to all the Shaw Academy courses, which gives you access to education in a huge range of subjects. And the fantastic thing is you will get full support from the various experts in those areas, just like you've received from the mobile app team. It's a fantastic thing to be part of, and you will have the highest level of support. So as you can see there, the lucky winner is going to reserve themselves a spot in the advanced course, get free e-diplomas, free toolkits, members discounts, premium support, and access to all courses. So I think I've gone on and shown everyone what the lucky winner is going to get, and I'm sure they're very, very excited. So let's get going. I'm going to have to pause for about 30 seconds just to check my email to see who exactly has one. We did have to wait for the webinar to start so that we could undertake the draw. So hopefully you're all very, very excited. I can see all the me's, please let me win, coming in. So I have the winner's name in front of me here, and I'm sure everyone is dying with anticipation. So let's have a quick drum roll, okay? And the winner is Ikena. I will be getting in contact with you, Ikena. So many congratulations and well done. And there's a lot of congratulations coming in through the chat box for Ikena there. So the winner is Ikena, and a lot of people seem to be disappointed. So not to worry. I do have a very, very special announcement. It wouldn't be fair to only have one winner in my mind, especially after all the emails I've received from students pleading with me to choose them as the winner. So it seems you're all very keen to get the extra benefits of the premium membership. So we do have a very special announcement. Between myself and the team here, we have been inundated with emails asking about the other courses and the advanced diploma in mobile app development, and the level of enthusiasm, participation and attendance has just been amazing. So myself and the team have been pushing really, really hard to make this more accessible to all of you who want to access the benefits of the membership, and we've just decided to offer all students on the foundation course a discount on our premium membership. So before I announce this very exciting discount, I want you to know how Shaw Academy has been making education accessible to all since we launched in 2013. Back in 2013 we had quite a low student number, so our advanced courses were going for around 2,500, and they were not even EQF level 5 certified. But as the numbers grew, we were able to reduce the cost of our advanced course as time went on. Up until this year, we were able to bring it down to $49.95 a month. We did move from a once-off payment model in 2015 to a subscription model. And now we have an EQF level 5 accreditation, which works out at about €150. So that's brilliant, brilliant value. And I do have some even better news. We have up to 50% off our premium membership, which is exclusive to this month's students. How amazing is that? You can join Ikena in taking the advanced diploma in mobile app development, as well as any other course you would like to take. They are all included in the premium membership, and as well as that, you can benefit from toolkit materials for all future lessons, as they are no longer free after today. So a lot of people are very, very excited about that, and a lot of them people very, very interested in moving to the advanced diploma in mobile app development, especially with the EQF level 5 accreditation. Education has never been so accessible before. So I'm going to launch the official upgrade now button, and you should see it at the top of your screen. So there we have a look at the prices. So first of all, this is not forever. All good things must come to an end, and this offer will be ending soon. So you should have received an exclusive email offer. If you'd like to check that out in your emails, what you can do as well is click the upgrade button to see the price of the premium membership in your local currency. We have 30 plus currencies available. So obviously the 3-month option is the most popular. With this, you can get an accredited professional diploma course for about €100, and we do offer this in 30 plus currencies, as I said. So do type in info if you want some more information, or click on the upgrade now button to see this in your own currency. And there is also a 6 and 12 month option, and the 12 month is the best price with the biggest discount. And you will get your full toolkit for this course included, and I will be adding some exciting materials and bonus materials later on. And just as a little cherry on top, you can add 3 family members or friends to your account as well. Not a bad idea to maybe get a bit of a development team going, and they will get their own personal account, full access to all courses, any of our professional diplomas, all at absolutely no extra course. And just to be crystal clear, the toolkit materials were free if you attended lessons 1, 2 and 3, but if you do wish to continue to get that toolkit, it is $19.99 at full price, or you can get it for free as a premium member. And hopefully you've been finding it all very helpful so far, and definitely upgrade to get the best results, unlock that toolkit. And as we are in week 3 of the foundation course, I have been getting a lot of emails requesting places on the advanced course, and places are limited, okay, because of the level of support, and it does fill up quite fast. So registration is now open, and do upgrade now to reserve yourself a spot on the advanced course. So do type in info if you want more information. This offer is ending soon, guys, so please do get on it as soon as possible. Would hate for you to miss out, because places are limited on the advanced course. So we're now in the Q&A. I'm going to answer some of the questions that are coming in as it is going on. Teresa there saying she can't wait to get all of the benefits of the premium membership. That's fantastic to hear, and there is a huge amount of benefits. And again, just click in info to get some more information on that. So please keep that in mind, guys, that there is limited places on the advanced course. It does run for 3 months there, Kate. It runs for 3 months. And again, this course that you're currently on, the foundation course, is a module, and each of the semesters in the advanced course is a module as well. Is the foundation course enough to be a professional mobile app developer? It's definitely not, Patricia. We can only teach you the basics in the 4-week foundation course, and you will learn a lot. It will not rival someone who has a professional diploma. So anyone who is serious about mobile app development does need to take the advanced course to really get to that professional level. Caroline, they're asking, are you locked into this payment option? That's a great question, and the answer is of course not. You can cancel in your members area at any time. We really want to make this as flexible for everyone as possible, so 3-month option would be the best in regards to that. So we have a couple of other questions coming in there.
A lot of info's coming in there. Fantastic stuff. We'll look forward to seeing you all on the advanced course. So if you have any questions about storing data with apps, now is the time to get asking with today's lesson. Brilliant stuff. So again, with persistent storage, again, just run over. Paul there asking about local. Again, what we ran through today, what that runs through is local storage. So again, it's entirely on your device. If you save data using local storage, again, it's only accessible by the user on that device, so it cannot be accessed by users elsewhere. And really what a lot of time is used for user inputs and user preferences and things that users have done on their device. So say for instance, if it was a workout app, maybe how many workouts they've ran, and maybe how many calories burned, maybe if it was a running app, how many runs they have done. So the advanced course runs for 3 months, and it's really cool because it is split up into 3 month-long semesters that each deal with a separate aspect of Android app development. So and you can hop in at the start of any semesters, because again, we didn't feel like it'd be a good idea for users to, it wouldn't be a good idea for you guys to have to wait for 3 months till the start of the new advanced course. So the way we have it set up is there's 3 semesters, each a month long, and you can join at the start of any semester. And I do provide sort of prep semester, 4 bonus videos to get you on the same page as anyone else doing, who maybe even has been on for 2 months. They will all be on the same page because each semester is different. So, there doesn't seem to be too many questions coming in, and guys, I don't want to keep you too long. I do apologise for going over there, so I'll end it there. Any questions, don't hesitate to get in contact with me, and I will see you back for lesson 6, publishing your app.